Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is MrHurriicane. I hope everybody's been enjoying the holiday season. I know I have, but it's good to be back to the channel today as I have a bunch of things I want to talk about in this channel update. A lot of what's in here I talked about in my channel member stream over the weekend. I talked about a lot of stuff in that video and got some great feedback. If you want to become a member now, you can go back and watch the archive channel member stream. But today is going to cover basically all the important stuff going on the channel right now, including some ideas I have, and I'll be looking for more feedback today. So I want to get right into it by talking about the Dolphins franchise and the main topic here, which is, what are we going to do on Madden 19? For so many years, I've been able to just start up a franchise, and sometimes it's taken a little while, but we get into the swing of things, and then we go through a handful of years and have a pretty good time. And this year has been the main change, with me just stopping the series in October and saying that I'd like to bring it back at some point, but only in the right circumstances. And unfortunately, I'm not sure that Madden 19 is going to deliver on that. It's already December, obviously almost 2019, and I don't think that the game is in a great place for doing my traditional franchise the way that I like to do it. Very sim heavy, try to keep it realistic, and hopefully the CPU wants to cooperate with me, and that's just been a more difficult endeavor this year with many things with the AI, from the quarterback play to the running back AI to the play calling. There's just a lot that has to get better in Madden, and it's made me delay with getting the Dolphins franchise going, because I'd rather have no series than a series that didn't meet my standards. And the main point of my franchises is that there is some sort of a climb with the teams that I build. It's been a very tough year for those that play against the CPU on Madden, and that's basically the only way that I play. And I've tried sliders, I've tried updated sliders, I've tried making my own, and it's just very difficult. And this whole situation with trying to get the Dolphins franchise better actually led me to a different idea that we're going to talk about today, and I love your feedback on this. I wasn't originally going to talk about it in the members stream, but I started sharing my ideas here around what I could do for a new series, and a lot of people thought it was really interesting, and it would be a good change of pace and the right time to bring it out. So the idea is called the Madden 19 Kane Challenge. And the idea that I'm about to dive into was basically inspired by this thought. Creating a balanced and realistic slider set is very difficult. So instead of trying to make the perfect set, what if I just take a team, make them worse, and then stack the deck so much in the CPU's favor that I'll have to work so hard in-game to make any progress. That is the idea behind the Madden 19 Kane Challenge, an idea that's not completely fleshed out yet, but I can give you enough of the core details today. So essentially, if you've ever gone through to make like a free agent team on Madden, this is along those lines, but taken to a new level. I love doing my rebuilds my way, and I try not to take advantage of the AI when I know that there are exploits. So I've built a set of rules so far that I think would eliminate how much exploiting of the AI that you could do. And it would also be a challenge that you could do with any slider set or any difficulty that you're comfortable with, because I know I could just go into sliders and crank everything up for the CPU and everything down for the user. I'm not trying to put my team at a disadvantage from a balance standpoint. I'm just trying to have a worse team and a harder climb to get good. So I don't want to just watch 74 overall receivers destroy me on all Madden while I have like decent corners. That to me is not the challenge I'm looking for. I want to have to build a team and come from so far down and make it so hard just to get to the next step. And that's the kind of thing that excites me when it comes to these football games. That's part of why I did Kalispell the way I did, starting from so far down in Montana where there aren't many players in that state that I can even start with a pipeline. Everything had to be built. And yeah, it only took a few years to start winning games on a regular basis, but the climb was so fun. I loved that. Now it's time to bring it to Madden. So what my idea is for the Mr. Hurricane Madden 19 challenge is that you start in year 2 of franchise mode. You sim the first year, and it really doesn't matter what happens because you're getting rid of every single player on your team. And you start year 2 with only undrafted free agent rookies. You can have the best of whoever is left. Your team is basically from there going to be between 65 and 75 overall players. So obviously way worse than any NFL team. And not only do you start with undrafted free agents, but the option to trade is disabled for the entire franchise. That's a restriction I would want to put on myself because there would be no trading of picks to go get other players or other established veterans, and no trading down in the NFL draft so that come year 3 you have like a bunch of second and third round picks and you can get all the great rookies. No, 0 trades. You can't trade for players, you can't trade up, you can't trade down in the draft. I also think that turning off practice squad stealing is also the best way because the idea is that you start with this team and you're going to have to work on building them by developing your players and by drafting new ones. You don't really get the option to take other teams' players. Although there are some free agent restrictions that I haven't been able to fully flesh out yet, but that's like a different detail I can do later. I have the core pillars. You start with undrafted free agents. There are no trades. So obviously, developing those undrafted free agents is going to be your top priority because every year you're only getting to pick 7 players in the NFL draft, and you can't trade up and you can't trade down. You have to go with wherever you end up picking in all 7 rounds. So with training, I don't care what XP sliders you end up using. You can use whatever you want, but I also want to restrict when you can get gold training, silver training, and bronze training. My first idea for this was that if you can get a win, the next time you do your training for the week, you can do golds, no problem. If you lose by 1 score, you can do a silver, and then if you lose by 2 scores or less, you can do a bronze. I'm not sure if that's set yet, but it's a restriction I think is very important so that you're not just getting golds every week without earning it. I would need to figure out what I want for the actual free agent restrictions because obviously if you had only undrafted free agents, you could afford the best free agents the next year. But again, that's not the idea of this challenge. It's to build the team yourself. You don't get anybody else's good players. But I also think that maybe there should be a way to go get a veteran or 2 to plug a gap. But I haven't thought that through enough yet. But the other fun thing that I wanted to do for this challenge was also every time you lose a game, you need to spin a wheel. And that wheel is going to have certain effects on your team for that next week. And I want to actually get a physical wheel perhaps if I do this. I could do just one online, but I thought it would be way more fun if I actually filmed me spinning the wheel when we lose. And I could use some ideas for different, I don't know, perks is like the opposite of this. So whatever the opposite of perks is, because they're all disadvantages. But the ones I have thought up so far are having to use your backup quarterback for the next game. I have one that's another extreme idea that I thought you could apply to the entire series if you wanted to. But for the next game, anybody who is hurt for longer than a week following the game gets put on injured reserve. That was one extreme idea I had, that you would have that on all the time, and I guess you could go with that, but I'm not having it as part of the core rule set. And then I also have random playbook on here so that you have to use something entirely different, don't have the same formations and stuff you like perhaps. And I could use some other ideas for potential, I have them called risks so far, I guess, but that is the basis of the Kane challenge here. I think that it might be the perfect time to break something like this out because it would be a franchise. I don't think I can really go forward with my normal formula, and instead I'd like to do something that is just very difficult, very challenging, and that's what's going to get me engaged again. I've said this before, I know on my second channel, I have my most fun playing sports games when the CPU pushes back. I want it to be very difficult. That's when I have fun. But it wouldn't be the same thing for me if I just played on like super challenging sliders that were just ridiculous and unfair. I want this to still have like a sim gameplay element, but we're just going to be so much worse than the CPU, if that makes sense. So I know some of you might not like that idea. It's definitely way out there, but I just don't feel that if I go forward with the Dolphins franchise that it's going to be as good as I would want it to be. With the way the game is right now, with the time that's been lost. So how would this be different? Obviously, I'd have even less time to do a series like this. If I do the Kane Challenge here for the channel, I would make it somewhat in the way that I do my Twins franchise, I feel. I would actually be playing a little bit shorter games. I would not do 15-minute quarters. I would probably try to reduce the game length by 25 to 30% or so and make them about 40 to 50-minute chunks. My typical franchise games can take up to an hour and a half to record. I know Kalispell routinely gets into that range or so. But I would do shorter games for this challenge. I might even do a little bit of simming as well, so that would help speed things up. But I think that I'd be able to potentially put 2 games into an episode and kind of do it the way I do my Twins franchise. You know, if a game can be summarized in a few minutes, then let's just go with that over the full traditional game. But if there is, you know, a key game or a good game that we can go deeper into and it's just a 1-game episode, that can also work. This idea, though, does have me very excited, and if many of you want it, it will be coming to the channel as a main series. There is a poll on this video where you can vote if you like the idea, if you're indifferent, or if you're not a fan. Just give me any feedback that you have, and you can also offer feedback on the rules. When you create a rules set, you try to make it so that it can't be exploited too heavily, and I don't want to overlook anything and I have to make stuff up later on. So this has been very much inspired by Blackjack and his Festivus Dynasty over that he streams on Twitch, where he took a college team, made them so bad, and he has so many restrictions on who he can recruit, and it's just a really fun experience to watch. I know he really enjoys it, and it's an incredible climb. It's also been inspired by the Pokemon community and the Nuzlocke and various challenges that they've designed to make playthroughs of Pokemon, a pretty casual RPG, actually very hardcore and challenging. So I've incorporated some of the inspiration from those to come up with the Kane Challenge, and I'm not sure there's been a more perfect time to deploy an idea like this and to make a big series and go all out the rest of Madden. I would prefer to do my traditional franchise and have it be just super realistic and everything. And when Madden 20 comes out, that's going to be my hope again. But I think that the Madden 19 Kane Challenge might be the best route to take this year on Madden on this channel. If you prefer the traditional franchise experience, I understand your disappointment. I'm disappointed too, and that's why it's kind of come to this point. But on my second channel, there is my Cardinals rebuild that might give you what you're looking for. That's been a really fun series, and the formula I created last year with my Browns rebuild is something that I think I'll be doing for a very long time. I do not play the games. I build the team. I build game plans and the playbook, but I don't actually play. And it's still really fun. And there are a lot of people on my second channel that enjoy not only the Browns rebuild when that was going for 18 seasons, but also the Cardinals rebuild. So if you want to check that out, there's a bunch of content over on my second channel. Instead of playing the games, we watch them play out, and it's still really exciting when a team does well for us. And there's also the Marquise Walker Career Mode series, the quarterback, of course, from the Kalispell Warhawks. Any more things regarding the Kane Challenge? If I do it, I want to start out relocated with a new team, a new name, new jerseys. I know there are a lot of options in game. Not a lot of cities, but each city has a few different teams and some different uniforms, so I'll have to find one that I think would be fun to go with. I'm not sure what team I would be kicking out of the NFL, essentially. I'll worry about that later if I do the challenge, and I do hope to. I really think it could be fun and the breath of fresh air that this channel needs right now. Still, I think Kalispell has done a great job being the main series here, the main football series. I love the Kalispell Dynasty. I still don't think we're anywhere near done, especially as we get this current recruiting class going and we know Montrell Bonds is on the way. That's the one thing about playing the Dynasties, is that even when you're really good, you have that refresh every year. You'll lose players and get new ones each and every year. It's not like a professional dynasty where you can have the same quarterback for 2 decades. So, I don't know. I feel like the dynasty could go as long as I want it to, essentially. But we're going to be going for a while yet. And there's not a whole lot else I have to talk about Kalispell. It's going strong, and I hope it is for quite some time. With the Twins franchise, I'm really enjoying the episodes lately, just want to get more of them out. But when this current season is over, we are going to take a break from the series until MLB 19 drops, and we'll start the new season with the new game. Many of you know that I got College Hoops 2K8 because I want to start streaming Kalispell basketball. I want to give this a shot. We'll see how it goes, but I've been looking for a streaming series, and I went with 2K last year. I'm going to try out College Hoops this time. It's an older game, obviously, but it would give me a chance to expand Kalispell a little bit, and I think it would be a lot of fun. And I shared this in the members stream. The star of this team is going to be Thomas Roberts, the tight end who was redshirted this year from the football team. He'll be playing basketball instead as our main shooting guard and probably our best player overall. Donnie Castillo is going to be coach, by the way, and I haven't finished editing the court. It'll take a little bit to get this ready to go, but I think for it to succeed, it needs that initial investment to make it really detailed. I know I can go and make custom chants and everything, and I'm probably going to go into that custom chant creator and learn it so I can create some sound bites for other series even. I've wanted to add like custom chants for Kalispell football. Now I can record some potentially. Oh, and when I stream again, that green screen that you've been looking at and wondering why I don't use it will now be used. My wife picked me up a light. I didn't think I had room for it, but I moved my desk 6 inches and now I have room apparently. And I've tested it out and I like it, and it works. I've been working a little bit on that draft class, by the way, that I streamed last week, and I'll be doing more with that now. I do have Andy McKenzie to share with you here. He is done entirely. Andy's going to be a 77 overall, which to me felt lower than I wanted to go with, but the ratings are right where I want them, and he'll have star development as well. So you can definitely take Andy when this is done and take him to the promised land. And also, I do think that the Kane Challenge, being a more laid back and fun series, at some point, maybe toward the end of it, if we get into this, maybe I can use the draft class in there and have a chance to strengthen my team with some players from past series. Just a thought. And the last thing I want to talk about, one of the pieces of feedback I got from the members stream and I've been seeing pop up more and more is where's merch, and specifically Kalispell merch. I hadn't really done anything with that, hadn't thought about making anything, but now I'm actually going to start working on that and hopefully getting you guys some merch in the near future. And that about wraps it up. I also want to start giving you a better heads up of when videos are going to be posted. So tomorrow we're going to do Kalispell Dynasty. Don't know exactly what time yet or if it'll be premiered, depends if I have anything going on. But I also wanted to make an episode dedicated to Justin Colbert and the next game between Texas A&M and Stanford. They actually play against the team that we need to lose if we're to win the division. So I don't want to pass up on that chance. Obviously, Colbert was a big part of our team and helped us win a national championship. So I definitely want to watch him play one more time. And we can all cheer for him one last game and hopefully he can beat Stanford for us. So I hope you enjoyed the update today. The Kane Challenge is something that I'm really excited about, and I would like a lot of feedback about that idea. If it's something you think fits on the channel, if it's something you would like to see, you can offer ideas for potential things to put on that wheel I plan to spin after every loss. And I think that a series like this could actually introduce a lot of fun into the rest of Madden 19's life cycle. So that's going to do it for today, everybody. I appreciate your time. I love all the support that you've given me. And also thank you for 200,000 subscribers. The milestone was reached not too long ago. But that's it for me. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.